Hello YouTube, this is Aardvark4991 with part 3 of our character skills and strategies guide. And today I'm going to be covering Ness and Lucas. Alright, so Ness is alright. So, first of all, I'm just going to be talking about Ness's normal moves. So, Ness is basically a person who doesn't really rely on his physical moves as much as his special moves. So his physical moves are just average, his triple A, just like anyone else's. And his strong attacks, pretty fast, and they're pretty strong actually too, so I guess he can use his physical moves pretty well. And his strong down is good for really racking up some damage right there. And so those are his strong moves. And so his smash moves now. His smash A, he brings out basically a weaker form of the home run bat, which he uses to just destroy everybody. And let's see, his yo-yo, which is used for both his down and his up A. And notice on his up A, he attacks twice. One when he brings the yo-yo out, one when he swings it up. It's kind of hard to see, but if they have less damage, then it's easier to see. See there, he attacks them twice. Alright, so those are Ness's, all of his A moves that are on the ground. So now his aerial moves. His aerial moves are also really nice. Oh, by the way, I forgot, yeah, his running A. Brings out little bursts of psi energy, or PSI, or however you pronounce it, with 3 attacks, and the last one knocks him up for some good aerial attacks. Alright, so now Ness's aerials are really good because, well, they just are. So his forward A is when he basically just runs up and attacks the person with like little bursts of psi, kind of like his running A. It's like 5 bursts in all, but they're really weak and they're really good for racking up other combos later on. And next, his backwards A. His backwards A is probably his strongest and most used aerial by Ness users. Since what he does is, it's kind of like a Captain Falcon's forward A and Zelda's forward and back A's. He basically attacks the foe with his legs, and if he hits on the sweet spot, then he will connect really nicely, and a little electric burst will come out, and they'll do a lot of damage with really good knockbacks. That's good if your opponent has medium damage and you want to KO them. It's also good for knocking your opponents away from you. Now, his other A, his up A, kind of moves him upwards, as well as your foe. It just like knocks them up. There. It's good for KOing people to get a star KO. Now, his down A is a meteor smash. Hold on. There we go. It's really good if you're trying to meteor smash your opponent, which I cannot do because I'm not good at meteor smashing with anybody. But if you're good at meteor smashing, it's pretty much just like most people's meteor smashes. There we go. Alright. So it's really good at it's really good for meteor smashing people. Now, on to Ness's special moves. These are his signature moves, which use psi energy. So the first one I'll start off with is neutral B. This is called PK Frost, I guess. I don't know, I didn't really exactly hear him, but if you want to correct me, leave a comment or something. But I think it's called PK Frost. Yep, PK Frost. So basically, you hold down B and you use this control stick to control the PK Frost wherever you want to go. And when you let go of B, it kind of explodes and does massive damage, around 37 to 38 damage, with extremely high knockback. But it's really hard to use because your opponent will probably attack you before you can unleash the attack. So if your opponent's far away and trying to come towards you, this is a good attack to use to like stop them in their tracks or make them avoid the PK Frost in order for you to hit them with something else. Now Ness's PK Fire is basically like he throws a little lightning bolt and somehow it makes fire. And it's kind of like a little volcano appears out of it. So if your opponents are at low damages, it traps them in. If they're at high damages, then it'll probably just like knock them away. Well, maybe not that much, but yep. Alright, so now, that was Ness's side B. And also, if you use side B in the air, it goes like diagonally downwards. So it's also really good for trapping opponents. And next we have Ness's up B, which is very nice. Oops, not that one. It's very nice, because it's basically a little bolt that you can control. You can control it to hit your opponents, or you can control it to hit yourself. If you hit yourself, oops, I missed again. You hit yourself there. It does massive damage and knockback to your opponent, and then you can come in and kill them with something or the other. Well, yeah, you get the gist of it. So, and it's also Ness's main recovery technique. You're falling off the stage. The only thing is that you need a lot of room to use PK Thunder. So that if you're in some tight enclosed space and you need to recover, you're probably not going to be able to. You have to rely on Ness's second jump. Oh, another Meteor Smash, alright. So you probably need to rely on Ness's second jump in order to get a good recovery if you're in a tight space. Now, lastly, we have Ness's down B, which is basically a side magnet, which absorbs any energy-based projectiles and adds them to your own health. So, for example, if someone shoots like a fireball or some kind of laser at you, and it hits your down B shield, you'll restore your own health. And it also, well, I don't know about Ness's, but I know Lucas's also hurts people if you're standing next to them. I'm not sure if Ness's does. Alright, and Ness's grabs. Ness's grabs are actually really nice because they're really strong and they have really high knockback. Okay. His down grab is also really nice because it has a PK fire into it. And his up grab is not his best one, but I think his forward and his back grabs are his best. Yeah, his back grab is really good. So if you just throw them, then you can just PK Froster them or something like that for a really good combo. And you hit them with one of your aerials. Alright, so lastly we're on to Ness's final smash. Alright. So Ness's final smash, he summons a giant meteor storm, which basically just covers the whole entire field. And it does about 20 damage for each thing. But the thing about Ness's is that it's better for larger stages, such as New Pork City and Hyrule Temple, since all the meteors kind of fan outwards instead of coming inwards like Lucas's. So that's what Ness's final smash does. And the way to avoid it, basically air dodge and ground dodge and all that kind of stuff to just dodge it. You can't shield it because it'll break your shield. Alright, so now well, we're done with Ness. So let's go on to Lucas. I have to cover him really quickly because I'm running out of time, because he's almost the same as Ness. I'm going to start with his B attacks first since they're almost identical. PK Fire, same thing, so it doesn't make a little volcano effect and it can't trap. His PK Thunder requires less room, and instead of one big hit, it does multiple small hits, which rack up damage. And can also be used, and it doesn't, the PK Thunder doesn't stop as soon as it touches somebody like Ness's does. Okay, and his PK Fire does not go downwards. His PK Frost is now a PK Freeze, which is a lot easier to control, it's quicker, it does less damage although, but it does give a freezing effect to your opponent so you can go in and attack with something else. Now, Ness's normal A's, triple A, same thing as Ness's. And his strong attacks, instead of using his physical features though, he uses little bit bursts of Psy, except for his down. And yep, he uses Psy on all of them except his down. Those are his strong attacks. Smash attack, he uses a stick instead of a bat, which is quicker, but it does less damage. But it's still good for knocking people away like that. His up smash is Lucas's signature smash move, because it does a lot of damage and has really high knockback when your opponents are pretty high damaged. And his down A, it's 3 times, and it's also really strong. And now, aerials. Lucas's normal A traps, his forward A kind of like he just kicks. His back A is a meteor smash. If you can connect with that properly, his down A is also kind of a meteor smash. And now lastly, I'm going to cover his final smash, which is pretty much the same as Ness's, except instead of fanning out, like I said before, it just goes in, it comes in inwards, my bad. See how all those little meters are kind of coming in, and they also do less damage than Ness's. Alright, so well, now I've covered Ness and Lucas, the 2 little 13-year-old Psy boys, even though they look like 5. So, that's all for this video. So comment, rate, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys later.